Folks, we've mentioned this many times before. I want to make it clear. If the writing and analysis that October 7th was a function of Hamas making sure that Palestinians weren't left out of the equation with the Abraham Accords, which Biden had picked up the mantle and was moving forward, essentially Arab countries and Israel forging relations and basically saying we're just going to ignore the Palestinian people. If you accept that, you have to understand what Donald Trump did to tee all this up. If you accept that Israel seems completely convinced it can get away with anything with the American public and the American body politic, you got to look to the movement of the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem in recognition that Jerusalem is Israel's capital, when in fact that was never the plan at the beginning of the UN mandate. Right? Jerusalem was supposed to be an international city. Then you have to understand that Donald Trump, and the idea that Donald Trump in some way would buck up against Kufi and John Hagee and the millions of Christian Zionists who believe that we must protect Israel because it is ultimately going to be the place where the Messiah returns.
Yeah, Magog and Agog.
If you think that Donald Trump would do anything different from Joe Biden in office, I think you'd be hard-pressed to prove that. But what is also equally clear to me, and we were saying this for months, that Trump is going to get to the left of Joe Biden on this. Because Donald Trump will say anything. He doesn't care whatsoever. He will flip on a dime, and he knows where the safe space is to be in the run-up to an election. And he will just always go there. He'll protect Medicare and Social Security until he gets into office and is willing to sign anything that cuts it. He will, provide a better plan once they get rid of Obamacare. And that, of course, it never materialized. He'll it's just, that's the way he is. It's not stupid. But here he is.
Politics.
It's politics, but also a shameless one, because he has a constituency that doesn't care about any of these policies that he says.
Right.
They don't care about any of it. He is an icon who sticks it to all the right people. That's what they care about. They don't care about the policies. And so he's able to say stuff like this. Oh.
Problem. Genocide Joe! Genocide Joe! Genocide Joe! Genocide Joe! Genocide Joe! They're not right. Genocide Joe! Genocide Joe! They're not wrong.
So there he is now cheering on the Genocide Joe cheer.
I do feel I need to say, and we can play this a little bit. This is actually him addressing the Iran attacks. He did nothing to provoke that, as far as like criticizing Israel or anything. That was driven by a guy behind him starting the chant, and then the crowd catched on to it. Just to play earlier in the speech here, at the very beginning, he talks about the Iran strikes on Israel, and in a very kind of still pro-Israel way. We could just do that for so people get a sample of.
America great again. Before going any further, I wanted to say God bless the people of Israel. They're under attack right now. That's because.
And if you watch here, the guy in the sunglasses is the one that started the chant. He starts kind of shaking his head. I don't want to overread into his emotions, but we'll see. Yeah.
We show great weakness. This would not happen. The weakness that we've shown is unbelievable, and it would not have happened if we were in office. You know that. They know that. Everybody knows that. But America prays for Israel. We send our absolute support to everyone in harm's way. This is an attack that would not have happened. I mean, to think about what we have to go through and the things we put up with the border, with no energy independence, with all electric cars. Would everybody like to buy an electric car for the rest of the But we will return the world to peace through strength, and it'll happen very quickly.
So yeah, he's not actually. His message isn't coming from him. It's just people in the crowd like to chant genocide.
That's the thing. Yeah, he's coming out and saying that. He's coming out with a full-throated defense of Israel, but not so much so that he could actually be sort of like take any responsibility for what Israel is doing. And then they start yelling genocide, Joe, and he's like, "Well, they're not wrong. Of course, he's going to do this." And you know. Again, aside from the absolute just horror of what Israel is doing in terms of like the way that Palestinian children and adults, for that matter, are paying a horrible price, both in their lives and their homes and whatnot. Aside from that, the idea that Joe Biden is risking the election and allowing Donald Trump as a political matter to get to the left of him on this issue of the wholesale slaughter of tens of thousands of people, for whatever like strange and there, I have never heard a single, even from the most like sort of like conservative blobby type of people, make a coherent argument that U.S. support for what Israel is doing is in U.S. national security interest. I've never even heard that. Like, I don't even know what the argument could be. It would have been completely uncontroversial for Joe Biden to have said, a week into this, in early November, ceasefire. You're done. You've bombed a bunch of stuff. You've killed 10,000 people, 5,000 people, 1,000 people, whatever it is. Ceasefire. The idea that Biden is risking his reelection in support of something so horrific and inhumane is just astonishing.
And given the importance of the election.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say both these things at the same time.